Okay, so hi guys, Coach Anna Kojac here. I'm coming to you with 3 tips that you can do right now that are actionable to help you become a more confident gymnast. Now, I know confidence is a huge one for gymnasts, right? Because we are doing these, well, not me anymore, used to, but you guys are doing these crazy skills, learning these super challenging things, all while trying to flip, turn, twist, and all of that and land on your feet, right? It is hard. It's hard. And so if you are not confident as a gymnast, you're going to struggle. That's just the way it is. You need to have confidence. Confidence is going to help you block out that fear that you have. Confidence is going to help you learn skills quicker, and it's going to help you feel better and happier about your journey in gymnastics. So here we go. We've got 3 tips, like I said, to help you right now become a more confident gymnast. So tip number 1, watch your body language. Okay, so like I said, this is something you can do right now. Slump your shoulders forward, drop your neck down, your head down. Feel how that feels. Now I want you to take the reverse of that. I want you to roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up, lift your chin up. How much better do you feel? I want you to try that. So do it right now. I want you to slump over. This is where I see a lot of gymnasts, right? We're slumped over, we're having a bad day, maybe we can't get a skill, our head is hanging low, our shoulders are drooping. In that moment, I want you to recognize that you're doing that, first of all, and then once you recognize that, I want you to switch it. So I want you to roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up, imagine a string pulling up your chest, pulling up your head, lifting up your chin. How much better do you feel? And doing that right now, how much better did you just feel going from slumped over to back? So body language is huge. Another thing that you can do if you find that maybe you're low on energy or you're just having one of those days where you just can't get it together, is you can just stand there and you can reach your arms out to the side, arms straight. You can see my arms are straight. So you're out to the side and you're pushing against the side. And you do that for 3 seconds. 3, you keep pushing, 2, 1, and then relax. What that does is get the energy moving in your body, and it immediately releases endorphins and helps you feel better. Okay, so that's tip number 1, is to watch your body language, watch your body gestures. So be aware of what you're doing and then just correct it by doing the opposite. And I'll tell you, if you didn't try it now, do it, because you'll feel such a difference. And you can use this. This doesn't have to be just for gymnastics. This is in life. Let's say you're at school. You're sitting at the table going, oh man, another day of school. Well, just change your attitude around. Change your body gesture and it'll change your attitude. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, to increase your confidence right now, these are steps you can do right now, totally actionable, is to write down a list of all the skills that you can currently do in gymnastics on every single event. So you're going to write floor exercise. Underneath, you're going to write everything you can do. Balance beam, you're going to write everything you can do. And what I mean by everything you can do is everything you can do. So I can walk and releve across the balance beam. Yeah, is that simple? Did you learn that maybe a very long time ago? Yeah, but you can do it. And at one time you couldn't. When you were a 5-year-old child trying to walk on a balance beam, it was the most frightening thing in the world. And now you can go up on tippy toe and walk across, forward, backward, sideways. No big deal, but that is a skill you learned. So you are literally going to write down every single thing you can do, everything you can think of, forward roll, backward roll, cartwheel, handstand, bridge, back walkover, whatever it is, you're going to write it down, every single thing you can think of. And I mean, go for broke. That means write everything you can, anything and everything. I can pull myself up on bars. Anything that you can do that you could not do before you started gymnastics, you're going to write down. And this becomes what I call your book of proof. Your book of proof. You can look at this and say, look at what I can do. Look at what I have learned. Look at how far I've come from when I first learned how to do a forward roll to doing a front tuck. Look at how much I've learned. This is your book of proof. So on those days where you're just like, man, I can't get this. I stink at gymnastics, or this is so hard. I'm never going to learn this skill. On those days, you pull out your book of proof. And it's amazing if you can write this in like a journal or a tiny little notebook that you keep in your gym bag or keep close to you when you're at gymnastics or at meets, or even, next to your bed where you can look at it at night. But you have this book and you look at it and you go, man, I really can't do that skill in gymnastics. And then you look back and you go, but look at what I have done. Wow, look at all these skills. And you flip through and you go, oh my goodness, I have learned a lot. How good does that make you feel? How good does that make you feel? Because what happens is, as you start learning more and more skills that are harder and harder, you forget how far you've come. You forget where you started, and you forget all that you've learned. So here you are trying to learn a souk on vault, and you forgot that you could barely even run up to the vault at one point, but now you can. So this is your book of proof, and immediately when you read through this, it's going to switch your mindset to looking at all the things that you can do, because these are things you have learned, and get it off of that feeling of I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I'll never learn this, and switch it. So I can do this. Look at what I've done. Okay, so that's your second tip. It's writing your book of proof, writing down every single skill you have learned on each of your events. And that is a book that you will look at when you are feeling less than confident. You go back to that book and say, look at what I've done. Tip number 3 is to be your own superhero. And what that means is you look back in your gymnastics career and you say, when have I been my own superhero? When have I struggled really hard and then overcame it? When did I maybe fall on beam in a meet and then I got back up and I finished that routine like it was nobody's business? When have I maybe crashed, in learning something in practice and embarrassed myself totally in front of like the whole gym, and maybe there was even like rec classes and boys classes going on, and I fell and oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed, but I got myself back up, I brushed myself off, and I went and I did that skill again and I nailed it, or at least I finished it. I didn't end on that bad note. So you're going to look back and say, when was I my own superhero? When did I overcome something that was really hard and maybe embarrassing, but I did it? Maybe it was a kip and I worked on that kip forever. Maybe it took me a year to get, but I didn't give up. I got that kip, not because all of a sudden I just got it and it clicked one day, but because I showed up every day working hard, trying that kip. I did not give up. I'm a superhero. All right. So you're going to look back and you're going to think of those times when you overcame something that was really challenging and difficult for yourself, and you became your own superhero. So there you have it. Those were 3 tips for how to build your confidence right now. So these are things like if you're having a bad day at the gym, or you just had a meet and like you just did not do well, you sit down and you say, all right, what can I do now? The body gesture is something you can do in that moment when you are in a meet having a bad time. You can just change your body gesture around, but take note of that because that's something you can do really all the time. Okay, then you look back at your book of proof. What have I done in gymnastics? Oh my goodness, look at these skills. Flipping through, wow, look at what I've learned. I have come far, right? So you look at that book of proof, and then maybe you write down your superhero thing in that same journal so that you can look and say, when was I my own superhero? Oh my gosh, here I am. This is what I did. I overcame this really hard, challenging moment, and I overcame it. I became my own superhero. I got through it, and I didn't just get through it. I got through it really well. So those are 3 tips. Let me know in the comments below if you have used any of these or if any of these resonate with you. And I hope you have a great day and you can start using these tips right now.